Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Good morning. What is up, Syndicate members? You know what's up. It's Wednesday. We're here every day at 9 a.m. live for you. We're from Austin, Texas. Me and my buddy Joe Campert having some fun for winning on Wednesday, and we got a special show for you today. I can't wait.
Yeah, I am freaking super excited for this show. It's actually it's
crazy hype for the show.
I am a little loco for it, but that is my weekly win too. So we'll be bringing on Jeff, guys. Jeff is somebody that I've been able to meet. It's been a little bit now, but really starting to do a deep dive into the system. That we're going to do kind of interview style first, and then we're going to get into the system and show you guys just all the perks of SalesPype and everything like that. But that's my weekly win, is that we are literally scrapping all of our other systems outside of our agency management system and going all in on this system. So We've been building out pages and getting phone numbers and all that stuff, getting ready to basically roll that out by the end of this week. So that is definitely, and anybody knows that when you're doing a tech overhaul, you're changing systems and all that, it can be a lot. And that's also of part of the win, is that it's like already set up for the most part. All I have to do is log in and start kind of just getting, building out some of our cadences and stuff, but it's like already all there. So I'm super excited for that. That's definitely my win. I have to throw in softball too, because we had softball last night, and my brother-in-law, Gabu, some of you guys know Gabu, he had a walk-off in order for us to win. And it was like times out. And he's like, I made him show up, because I was like, yo, dude, we're going to need somebody. You're just going to need to sit on the bench. Kind of what I do to you, Merwin. And then I'm like, hey, dude, you're going to have to play. He's never played in his life. But he loved it, man. You should have seen his face after hitting that run. So
would y'all put him at catcher?
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, he was at catcher. He took over your spot because you weren't there. So
yeah, well, I got broken knees. So what do you want from me?
What's going on with you? What's your weekly win?
Weekly win is an easy one. On Monday, we had a seminar that was actually advertised for and put on completely for free by two of our clients up in Belton, Texas. They basically invited us to come out. They're like, hey, look, we have people in our church that need your message. We'll set everything up. We'll do all the advertising for you. We'll round them all up and get them here. All you got to do is show up and give them a presentation and do what you do best. And they rounded up about 25 people for us. We had two rooms. We had an English room. We had a Spanish room. So I was across the hall doing my thing. Grace was across the hall doing her thing. And we picked up some good prospects out of it. So, and then not just that, but it brings us into a community now, right, that we can continue to talk to and nurture and develop leads and referrals out of. So, those are some of the wins that you get in insurance that you don't always expect, right? I didn't expect two of our clients to all of a sudden walk in and go, look, we love you guys. You've done so well with us. We want to introduce you to our entire church. We'll do all the legwork for you.
In Belton. Right.
Like, I mean, that's what you need in your business. You want raving fans in your business. Walt Disney said it, right? He said, do what you do so well that your friends and your family come back again and again and again, and they bring their friends and family with them, I should say. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. We were super happy about that.
That's good. I love the two rooms too. So then Grace was doing her thing, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, so it was kind of a contest, like who's going to get the most students, right? Who's going to get the most leads out of it. We were having some fun.
Love that. I love that. Cool, man. Well, guys, let's just get into it because I want to make sure that we have plenty of time. Again, we're going to do kind of first half interview so you guys get to know Jeff a little bit. Just really all of his expertise in the insurance industry that's now obviously shifted. And we'll talk about all of that. And then we'll get into the actual system. We're going to have it up on the screen. He's going to show you all the functionalities of it. And at the end of it, I do have a link for Syndicate members for y'all to be able to hop in there. You get a free 14-day trial, so you can go check it out for a couple weeks. And he'll go over cost and all that good stuff. But I'm super excited. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and bring on my good buddy, Mr. Jeff Grimm. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Man, the fancy intros and everything, I feel special. All the graphics, you got me pumped up here.
That's all Merwin's doing. He is good at whipping up those intros, so he's got all of them for all of the other shows as well. So shout out to Merwin. Good job, Merwin. Hey, so
I live on Zoom, but I feel like I need to start all my Zoom calls with a little roll like that.
I'm getting close to canceling Zoom because the only thing I don't like about StreamYard is you can't, at least I don't think you can pre-send the invite link before you log into the show. And I might be wrong on that. You might be able to tee it up and then invite people and say, hey, look, this will be good at 8 a.m. on Thursday when we have our meeting. But if I'm already purchasing StreamYard to use StreamYard and it allows me to have multiple people on, and I can do the comments, I can record the show, I can run it live if I want, I can do whatever I want with it. Why do I really need Zoom anymore?
So many options, so many shiny objects. It's hard to decide.
Yes.
All they have to do is click the link and they're in. There's nothing for them to download, no plugins, nothing to install. So this is a great tool.
Yeah. Shameless plug to StreamYard because all of us use StreamYard now.
Yeah, where's your affiliate link for StreamYard?
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly, man. Cool. Well, Jeff, if you want, man, just take a minute or two. Just who is Jeff Grimm, and then let's kind of start at the beginning, and then we'll kind of stair step and I know you've had the multiple agencies and everything, and now you've got multiple companies going on the tech side. So just a little 30,000 foot overview.
Yeah. Basically, I'll just kind of start with, my insurance beginnings. It's right about 17 years ago, I got into the insurance space, and I didn't know anything about insurance. I just knew I had an uncle that was successful in it. So I'm like, all right, let's check this out. I saw his career kind of growing behind the scenes, and one day he's in a tiny home with a beat up car, and then fast forward, he's got the 7 Series BMW and a nice car and a pool, and so I'm like, all right, well, yeah, maybe this is for me. So I started my journey at State Farm, and I was there for about 3 years. And nothing against the captive world, but I kind of rather quickly figured out that it wasn't really the journey for me. And I was killing it, I was growing month after month, but I just didn't feel like I had that freedom that I wanted. And ultimately I made the switch to the independent side. And beginnings were rough. I was scratched. I was scratched both at State Farm. I was scratched when I went independent. And anyone that's done that, it knows how difficult it could be. So there were some tough days of selling furniture to survive, living in my sister's basement, selling my homes. I sacrificed everything at the beginning just to get things moving. And, there were even days at the beginning too, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And anybody that's been through that, it grows and grows and grows. And eventually you kind of, reach that promised land. But so I continue to grow out the independent side of things. And I actually just exited, I guess it's 2 months now. So after all that time, I made the decision that it was time to move on. I pretty much had my agency on autopilot at that point. Probably for the last 5 years, I've had my agency almost on autopilot, where my team's running it. I have the systems in place. And quite honestly, my full involvement over the last 12 months has been once a month. I simply go cut checks to people. And I know that sounds pretty cool. Like, why would you give that up? Just my passion kind of disappeared. I'm more interested in kind of like the tech and marketing side of things. And I also had a guy in my office who's worked for me for the entire time. He started with me fresh out of college at State Farm. He followed me to the independent side.
Awesome.
He's become one of my best friends, and it was time to kind of turn over the reins to him and let him buy the agency.
That's awesome, dude. What's a weekly win for you? I know that, and maybe that's a weekly win is like, wow, I'm like 2 months into this thing. It's kind of different. Or are you more busy now? Well, yeah, because I guess if the agency was on autopilot, you're probably more busy now, huh?
It is kind of a strange feeling. I haven't really separated myself from it. I feel like nothing's changed, to be honest. It's because I still have a Slack group with my office, and I'm still chat with him, and he's throwing questions at me. How do I do this? How do I do that? So yeah, it is definitely a weird feeling, but I'm probably getting more and more busy just because of the other projects where I'm like 100% in. I can fully devote all my time to it. But in terms of like my win, I would say joining you here, because although I live on Zoom and I'm doing demos all day long with people, I've never gone on a podcast. It's
Oh, really?
I'll be honest, it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's not something that I do, and I don't always kind of put myself out there. And so yeah, this is a win for me. Just saying, okay, what the hell? Let's go on there and let's chat with people.
Well, there's no need to get
Absolutely.
too nervous. I mean, this is going across the World Wide Web. People are watching all around the world. There's at least 8 of them watching right now. I guarantee you.
You guys are my win. Yep.
Love it, man. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Do appreciate it. Hey, you were my win too, Jeff. Would you look at that?
Look at us, best friends.
I want to stay. So for me, right, a lot of we'll call them our rewards, our incentives, our bonuses are based off tenure within our organization, right? And hey, the longer you stay with us, the better it's going to get, right? You have a guy that literally probably didn't even have another career path, just chose insurance fresh out of college and has been with you for 17 years.
Yep.
What is that? How? I'm like, okay, how did you really structure it in a way? Like, what was it that has kept that relationship flourishing? And maybe there's some practices, some guidelines. Maybe it's a weekly meet. What is it that provided that such a long tenure? Because anybody watching the show, I guarantee we would all kill for somebody that would want to stay. And you're right. You said at the beginning too, the shiny objects. I feel like it's the same thing as recruiting, where people see that new shiny contract, right? Or they see that bump in pay and they forget where they come from, type of thing.
Yeah.
How did you maintain that tenure for 17 years?
Short answer is I have no idea. No. It's funny because when he started with me, he actually, you talk about like, how did he even get into insurance? Prior to joining me, he was just finishing up his college career. He didn't even have all his credits, and he was selling ice cream out of like a little cart. So he'd go to corporate events for a local ice cream company, and he'd just stand there and hand out ice cream bars, things like that. And within that first month of me opening my State Farm office, he was kind of like the chopping board. I mean, because I'd look outside, if you want to call it my bullpen, and I'd see who's making phone calls. And he was someone that wasn't really local to my office, so he didn't have that whole family and friends network built in to start with. And so I'm like, why isn't he making calls? I'm like, I don't know if this guy's going to last. And so I always tell the story about him because he turned into a superstar. But those first 30 days, I'm like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. But then something clicked. He started figuring out the business. I was providing with a lot of leads to help him get going. And this isn't everyone's style, but for me, I'm not tough. Like, I'm not going to be that person that's I'm your supervisor, I'm your boss, listen to what I say. It's more like you're in a way you're my friend. Now, granted, if you piss me off, you're not going to be my friend, and if you don't do your job, I'm going to fire you. But they become my friend, they become my family over time, and I just give people a lot of freedom to succeed. I'm not gonna, if you're getting the job done, if you're hitting numbers, I don't really care what you're doing. I don't care if you take a long lunch. I don't care if you, like you guys got the dogs, like bring your dogs in, make it a comfortable place. Quite honestly, and I don't encourage you guys to do this, but my staff can say F you. They can be sarcastic. They can say whatever they want.
Right.
My interviewing style has consisted of handstand contests with people that are looking for a job, so just ridiculous things. I'm kind of a goofball, and I think in some ways that built loyalty with, people that have worked for me.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's something that I don't know if I necessarily, because and that's the hard line to draw too, though, right? Is like, because like our guy, Alex, and you've met Alex. I mean, he was my best friend in college, right? Up and quit his job he was in pre-management training for enterprise, working 6-7 days a week, 10, 12-hour days. I was like, bro, if you did that in insurance, you'd kill it. And he called me like 2 weeks later, and he goes, hey man, like, is that job still open? Because I just quit my job and I'm like renting a U-Haul and I'm coming down to Austin. And I was like, oh crap. And he's been with us from day one, but it was that friendship first, right? And so just kind of trying to find that line of where, I don't know, it's kind of tough, but I love it because
Sure.
I think that's what has really allowed our culture to flourish is that we are all kind of friends. Like, hey, you come to my house and you meet my kids, right? We go to barbecues together. We go out, like those types of things. And I think a lot of people miss that. And again, not to say that there's not, we'll call it, for the lack of a better term, power in having the structure and having the, hey, look, this is, the deadline. Like, don't go as far as like timed lunches, guys. Like, let's not go that far, right? But I think there's a lot of people can get a little headstrong in that, at least from what I've seen when they're managing their team, where, hey, if they had just held on or approached the situation differently, or if they had held on maybe 15 days after that first 30 days, guess what? You just found somebody, a rock star, right? But you cut them too quick.
It's hard to know, when
important.
to release someone or when to keep them. You don't really know how someone's going to develop.
Right.
I'll add one more thing to that, if you don't mind. So like, in terms of my staffing, the key wasn't just being a goofball and being friends with them. It was, with Dave, for instance, so the guy I ultimately sold the agency to, I was always willing to work with him because he was continuing to grow and grow and grow. And I think he exceeded both of our expectations in terms of like how big his book would grow. And so I gave him opportunities that I haven't given to everyone, meaning he could get his own assistant. When he gets to a certain level, he could earn increased commission levels based off his book size. So he would come to me and be like, hey, Jeff, I think that I can get to, 100,000 a month if you do this, or if you give me an assistant or whatever. So he'd kind of like put together a plan for me and we'd work on those things and he would consistently hit it. And, by the time it was all said and done, his book personally was, I think, like 3.5 million,
nice.
just what he had produced. And so, I took very good care of him.
Sure. Yep. I love that. And then, so let's talk about the agency and then kind of segue into the system. Cause I know that the system obviously it was a big piece of the agency being able to operate the way that it was. So it was a very successful agency, like a personal producer that's got a $3.5 million book. Anybody that's in the property and casualty side of things, that ain't a bad paycheck, right? Yeah. And those residuals ain't bad at all, but continuing to grow, right? And I think that's something too. A lot of people will get maybe to that level and then sit on it, where everything that I'm kind of seeing and feeling from you and your energy, and I'm sure that you had in your agency, was, hey, let's just keep going, right? Let's keep breaking down the walls of like 3.5. Let's get to 7, right? Let's kind of stair step. What were we'll call them the key elements, the key structures, whatever it is that was key to the success within that agency. And then we'll kind of stair step into actually showing the system.
I think a big component of it for me was becoming kind of a master of marketing and technology. And, yesterday I own a software company, I own a marketing company, but I didn't start that way. Most of these things I just kind of figured out as I was growing my agency and wasting money. I had hired SEO firms and realized they weren't doing anything, and I'm paying them $3,000 a month. I was hiring website companies to build me a crap website. So I just kind of became a full-time student of marketing. I got very involved in SEO. I learned how to, optimize my Google business pages. So those were like my earliest wins, where I was starting to build websites, generate leads, getting in the top rankings of my Google business pages. That started making the phone calls come in. So those things were kind of really what got me excited when I saw the power of, hey, I can generate my own leads. Then it kind of transitioned to, okay, I got lots of leads. How do I actually make sure that my team is working these leads properly? Are they just burying it in their desk? Are they just calling them once and disappearing? What processes are in place? And so that then started my journey towards, okay, how do I manage, like, what are the lead management systems out there? And I tried everything. Like I tried Infusionsoft, I tried ActiveCampaign. Once upon a time, what was the other one? Agent Legend, which was like a email tool. So like I tried everything, and finally I'm like, screw it, let's just try and build something. And I had no idea how to start with that. I'm not a coder or anything like that, but so I went to Upwork and I kind of listed my idea, my dream, my vision for a product. And first round came out and it was okay. I could do some basic like follow up with people, maybe shoot them an email automatically when a lead comes in, things like that. But I quickly kind of plateaued with that developer, and then I moved on to another one, and they stole my money. And then I moved on to another guy, and I found kind of like a good partner, and now I've worked with him for 6 years. And he just started developing all these different features and ideas I had for my agency in terms of follow up. And here we are now, where I have a full blown CRM that we've created with sales, marketing automation, all the bells and whistles, like kind of anything you'd want to do to automate your agency. But it was definitely kind of a building process, and also a process of wasting a lot of time and money trying to figure it out.
Trial and error, baby. Trial and error. What are the other? Sorry, Tony, real quick. I know you got SalesPype. What are the other? Because I know you have a few of the other ones that you've kind of launched.
Yeah. So SalesPype was the first product that I created. That's the CRM. Also, Strong Proposals is an insurance proposal system. And just quick rundown of that. Essentially what it is it takes your typical boring PDF proposal, and we turn it into something that looks like a web page where you can embed videos, testimonials, call to actions, things like that. And it just makes your proposals way more interesting. So that was the second thing that I built. Viral Runway is something my team's built as well, which is a way to run Facebook contests or Twitter, wherever, just kind of run contests and promotions on social media. And then the last one is Map Your Sales, which at this point I've kind of combined a couple of my different softwares, but Map Your Sales is a geo farming tool just to kind of hone in your marketing on a specific geography.
And we're going to see that, guys. Don't you worry.
That's my favorite thing. I'm amazed every day that my team created that.
What'd you have, Merwin?
You had mentioned that you became a full-time student of basically SEO and marketing, right? Would you advise that for the average agent?
Depends kind of where you are in your business.
And that's kind of a follow-up question. Like, where's the fine line between let me learn how to spend my time becoming that full-time student versus no, let me just hire somebody?
Yeah, it's just tough. So for me, like, I was never involved too much in the day-to-day production. Like, I always had a team in place, so that freed up time for me to explore things. If you are a producer in your agency, there's no way you're going to have time to do both.
Right.
No, you're better off just outsourcing it. And then eventually you get to that point where maybe you got a little bit more time and you kind of enhance your knowledge at that point and take on some things on your own. But just kind of depends where you are in your business.
Understood. If that's the case, you find yourself with some free time, you're like, hey, this is an area to explore. Where would you say is the first step? Like, go there first and learn that.
For most people, I would say, like a local insurance agent, go take advantage of your Google business page. It's free to set up. Now it's going to take some time to rank it, but go claim that free Google business listing, because that was our early success, getting that up and ranking.
Makes sense. Let's see this thing, man. I'm ready.
I don't know who this is. Wasting the money is the fun part, right?
I don't know. When I was selling my furniture to survive, it didn't feel that fun.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we've got it up, guys. So this is SalesPype. Okay. And again, I'm going to pop into the Facebook comments as we go through this. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to put them up or put them into the comments. We'll get them up on the screen so that Jeff can answer those. So definitely want this to be interactive. And then I'll also drop, I've got, again, a link for syndicate people to go. You can go, again, it's 14-day free trial, so you don't have to pay for anything out the gate, but highly suggest as we go through this, ask questions. But I'm telling you, we're all in on it. And if you guys know me, I've tried them all. And I love a couple of them. There's quite a few out there that I'm not in love with, but SalesPype is definitely the winner for us, and so we are integrating all of our stuff into SalesPype. So that's just my testimonial. It is an amazing, crazy, powerful, robust system. And with that, go ahead, take us through, Jeff.
Yeah. Just before I get going, can you see my full screen? Okay, I just will make sure I have the right tab for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
It's really pretty dashboard.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I'll just kind of walk you guys through things, and feel free to throw questions at me, and Joe, if there are questions coming in as you go, you can interrupt me and throw those out as well. But I'll just kind of walk you through the system, show you some of the things it can do, and we'll go from there. But think of this right here. This is your dashboard. This is your starting point every day, just to give you an idea of what's going on inside your business. So how many deals are you working on? What's the value of those deals to you? And are you actually converting the business into policies or clients? Down here, you'll get a little visual representation of what your sales pipeline looks like, so you understand what stage of your process people are in. And then over here, you'll just get a quick breakdown of what's going on today. So meetings, appointment, tasks, whatever's happening throughout the day. Now, there are a million things that you can do inside of our software, and it continues to grow. I mean, we were just a basic automation system once upon a time. Now we're a full-blown CRM and always adding new functionality. But the main starting point with people is I say, hey, you need to get some campaigns up and running to automate processes in your agency. So whether it is reaching out to new leads, reaching out to new clients, you need to kind of get some campaigns built out. And in our system, you can build as many marketing campaigns as you want, and we're going to track the analytics that are associated with them. Just so you get an idea of how this works, I'll go into a campaign with you. So this is a campaign, for instance, that could be used to follow up with new leads. And that's usually my starting point with people. I mean, you may be running 10 different types of campaigns inside your agency, but the first thing that you really got to shore up is having a process to automate the follow-up with your leads. Because too many people reach out once or twice when you may need to reach out to a new lead 7 times, 12 times. I mean, it's going to vary, and too often people give up too early. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out this campaign. And I have pre-built templates in here for you as well if you don't want to think about copywriting. But really what you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to funnel all my new leads into this campaign, and then our system is going to follow up with them using a variety of communication mediums. So I could send a text to someone, I could send them an email, a video email, a ringless voicemail, a call bridge, which I'll touch on in a second, or even direct mail. So I could send like a postcard, a letter. I could even send gifts to people. Yeah, maybe I want to send a gift card to a referral, send out some brownies, cookies. Joe, I think you like the Pop Rocks.
The old
here.
Pop Rocks. Epic.
So all these different things that you can kind of build into your follow-up sequences. And I highly encourage people to mix it up because you don't really know what someone's preferred communication medium is going to be. Someone may respond to an email. Someone else may prefer text. Someone else may be just kind of glued to their phone anytime they get a voicemail. So just kind of work those through your sequences. Now, to give you an example, let's say you just want to throw a text in here. Just type it up, whatever you want to say. You can personalize it with information like their first name. And then you just say, okay, when should this go out? Today, tomorrow, in a few minutes. Okay, so there's my text. Maybe I want to throw in an email. Just type up your email, tell our system when you want it to go out. In this scenario, I think I have it going out a few minutes later. Maybe I want to throw in a video email. I could record it right here on the screen if I wanted to, or I could build out an entire video library that I could just reuse videos over and over again. This one, to me, I would say, so if you think about lots of different questions you're getting in your agency on a daily basis, build out an entire video library, and then you can easily launch those videos into your sequences.
That's good. I love the live recording too, because you can make it that much more personalized. If it is maybe like a high value client or something, and you want to send them that, but it's like maybe, and you let me just record it real quick, call them by their first name, right? Say what's up. I thought that was really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything video related I love, especially since COVID. It's just so many people work remotely, and anytime they can kind of see you and see you're a real person, it just helps. The last thing I'll show you kind of in here is call bridge, because people don't often know what that means. So let's imagine you have your leads flowing into this campaign here. We're actually going to call you. We're going to announce to you you have a new lead, and we're going to say press 1 to connect now. As soon as you hit 1, we dial out to that prospect and connect you. So that's just designed to get you on the phone with someone before they disappear and go to another website, another competitor.
That's good.
Now, these campaigns, they can actually be up to 1,000 days long. So it really just kind of comes down to what you want those sequences to look like. Even like postcards, maybe you want to send out a postcard to someone. You have different templates and things built in here. Maybe you like this one. You pick a handwriting style, type out a message. Get a quick preview of what it's going to look like before it goes out. Then you send it off.
That's awesome.
Any questions on how you kind of build this out?
Can you create your own postcard templates?
You can. And we actually have an integration with Canva. So you could just go You can come in here and you can say design in Canva. It's going to take you to a page in Canva with all kinds of pre-built things that you can just edit, and then one click it imports it back to our system for you to use.
Sick. Yeah, let me and real quick, y'all, so you guys can see all the kind of verticals. This is not just like, obviously I'm a property and casualty agent. We're trying to do the life. I'm sorry, John. We're trying. We're getting there. We sold one yesterday. So, but this is across the board, right? This is not just a property and casualty system, a life. It can literally suffice for all of those verticals within our industry.
Yeah, it's just whatever data you want to plug in. That's all.
Exactly.
Yep. Real estate agents, even. I mean, yeah.
Obviously I have the insurance background, but when I launched this and made it public, for whatever reason, a lot of marketers found me and a lot of loan officers, real estate agents. So those kind of organically became my niche. I wasn't targeting them, but they found me and really liked my software. So we could be catered towards any industry. And I have a lot of pre-built campaigns and setups done for insurance, real estate, loan officers, et cetera.
That's awesome.
So once you get your campaign set up, it's just a matter of connecting your different lead sources. I mean, I could manually add a contact to a campaign if I wanted to. I could upload a CSV file. I could use the direct connection that we have with Facebook lead ads to just have all of our Facebook ads roll into here. We can connect other lead providers via API, and also we have a Zapier connection as well. And then we have things built out with like Quote Wizard, Hometown Quotes, different companies, integration with Ramsey, insurance leads. So lots of different lead sources that we can connect with. So the goal is, with any of these campaigns, it's really just to strike up conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
And once that happens, everything flows through to our inbox. Let me just pull up a generic conversation. So inside this inbox, everything is going to be timestamped, all your back and forth. It doesn't matter if it's a text message, if it's an email, if I send a video email to someone or a postcard. It's going to store all my call recordings. Really anything that I'm doing in terms of communication is going to be stored under this contact record in the inbox. Then when I'm ready to reply to someone, just choose my medium. And you can also build out an entire library of quick responses as well. So this is where people spend the bulk of their time because it's where the money's made.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do just about everything. Yeah.
Right.
And
I love that you have the and maybe if you want to kind of touch on it a little bit, it's just the one click away, right? Where it's like from pretty much anywhere in the system, you can perform the action needed to reach out, to send them something, whatever that might look like.
Yeah, I just hate systems where you're trying to click around to find a particular function. So we always try to make it easy, no matter what screen you're on in our system, to send someone a text, to send them an email, to start a phone call. So for instance, like here, I could text with one click, email, whatever. Up here, I could make a phone call to them if I wanted to, just with one click. I can add tags to their record. I could open up a new deal with this person. I could schedule a meeting or an appointment with them or a task. I can put them on a marketing campaign, add notes to their file, do just about anything that I want with a particular prospect.
Quick question. Can I use my main phone number to text and SMS?
You cannot. So in our system, what we do is you would go in, you'd type your desired area code, and you would purchase what we call a virtual number.
Is that through Twilio?
It's through Twilio, yep. Now end users like you wouldn't need to go to Twilio and get an account or anything like that. We have a master account, so It all flows through us. Now, I do want to kind of address that question, though, because I know some people are dead set on using their own number. It comes up occasionally, not as much anymore, but I'd be careful with that. And the reason being is there's more and more regulations coming out in terms of texting and phone calls. And if you were ever to get penalized, you really don't want it to be your main number that you lose. I'd rather have it be something that's disposable that I could easily replace.
Within the system, can you forward your Twilio number to your main number? So, for example, if someone calls, they see your text that came from your Twilio number, and they just hit call, then that just forwards right into your main source anyway, right?
Yeah, we have it set up two ways. So at any phone number you purchase in our system, if someone calls that number, you can choose to either have it accepted inside of the system, or you can say, I want you to automatically forward any call to this number to my office line or whatever you choose.
Right.
Yeah, so we give you both options.
We have a funny question here. Does this help me lose weight? I don't even know who asked that, but I don't know. It might help with
100%. Absolutely. It hasn't really helped me lose weight. I think I've gained 50 pounds since I created this software. So no, I wouldn't advise this weight loss.
It could save you time, so you could go spend more at the gym, and then therefore you lose weight. So it's all in your perspective.
And Alex Jackson said today's digital phone burner or burner phone. Just wait. We'll get into a little bit of that too, Alex.
So I'll move on from the inbox and I'll go on to our deals setup. So if you've used any CRM, you've probably seen something similar to this. It's kind of become like the gold standard in terms of how you organize your prospects. And this is all customizable. You're going to decide what are the different stages that you.
Did you click on that? Are you seeing the screen move, Tony?
No, I'm still looking at the inbox screen.
Let's see. I wonder if it cut my feed. Oh,
here
Here, I think I had a second screen open. Let's go to this. Let me know if you see the deal screen now.
Yep, now we do.
Okay. So this is really the place that I would use to kind of organize all of your prospects. And this is all customizable, so you decide how you want to organize things. But really what you're doing is you're just organizing people from the time they come in as a new lead until the point that you either win or lose that deal. And you can kind of mess around with color codes. Maybe you got an assistant working in here with you and you want them to use a different color than you just to make it, easier to manage. But you just kind of click and drag people through the process. And the nice thing is we have what we've built out behind the scenes called triggers. So you could say anybody that flows into this category right here, it triggers a campaign for new leads automatically without you even knowing you have a new lead yet. Then maybe they engage with you, they respond, it would automatically move them over here without you touching it. And that could trigger a new marketing campaign. Maybe you move them over here and that triggers a campaign. Now this person said they're not interested. You could have that trigger a long-term drip campaign that just continues to reach out to them over the months. So you can build in all these automations behind the scenes that are triggered simply by you clicking and dragging. You mark a deal as won, maybe that triggers a new client welcome campaign. Lost, again, a long-term drip. So it's all really up to you how you want to set this up, but we'll work with you guys if you need help on that as well. And you can do as many as you want. So like a typical insurance agent, they might have a sales pipeline, where all their leads are flowing into. They might have a renewal pipeline where you just kind of try to keep track of renewals, rate increases, things like that. Maybe you want to have a service pipeline. You could do that as well. Claims pipeline. I mean, you can create as many as you want. Just kind of comes down to how you want to organize things. One thing that I don't see a lot of people doing that I would encourage as well is a recruiting pipeline.
It's literally what we're literally, Pops was like looking at building that out yesterday. So
and I'm happy to work with you guys on that. It's I would just start going, finding prospects, LinkedIn, wherever, start flowing them into here, have that trigger a campaign, and then just always be marketing, always have a pipeline that you can go to when you need a new hire. So that is the pipeline. Move on to our calendar here. Not a whole lot to show you, basic calendar. This is going to connect with, for instance, like your Google Calendar. That's how I have it hooked up. So I have one place where I can view everything that's happening. And then I also have a calendar widget inside the system. So if you want to put your calendar online to allow people to book a meeting with you, which I would highly encourage, you could do so right here. It's going to have your own branding, a description of the event, and then people just kind of come in and pick the time with you. And then our system's going to send out all the reminders, the text reminders, email reminders, things like that, so people actually show up for that meeting.
And then Alex asked, GHL based or from the ground up? This is from the ground up, Alex.
I do get asked about GHL quite a bit. And because there are some similarities and features in our system, I actually created this 2 years before High Level ever launched. So there's a lot of different white labels out there that you would see for High Level. This is 100% mine, and yeah, absolutely.
The OG. The OG.
Yeah, I've already picked a few things that you're doing that they're definitely not doing in High Level.
And that's a good software too. Like there's, CRMs are 100% personal. Like people are looking for different things. Someone may love my software, someone may hate it. It all kind of comes down to how you want to set things up. Here's our contacts page. I won't spend a lot of time here, but just think of this as kind of like your main database page. And we track.
You see one of the names?
It's on the very first one.
What was it? Oh, okay. I was actually wondering if that was going to flow through. So that was a Facebook lead that was generated about a half an hour before this phone call. And I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that one's legit. Either way, they're getting marketed to right now.
It could be a lady named Dee that owns, has her own peanut butter and nut store. I don't know. I'm just saying.
What are the chances? Joe, did you respond to my Facebook ad and do this just so it would show up during the demo?
No, I didn't. I should have, though. That's funny.
But yeah, this is just like your main database page. And Joe, earlier you were referencing like, you're one click away from doing something. Here's an example of that. I could view their profile. I could send them a text, call them from here, voicemail, whatever. But the main thing I'll just tell you on this page, we track everything. The stage they're in, the campaigns they're on, their zip code, their age, any tags. When's the last time they actually responded to one of your messages? So we track it all, and then you can filter anything down here to create any type of marketing list that you want. Move on to marketing. And one of our newest releases is our what we call smart forms. So all of you probably have a website or you have landing pages where you're trying to generate leads. You're trying to get opt-in information, name, phone, email, anybody really that's looking for a quote. So inside of our system, we do have our own form builder that you can use. You could use a template of ours, and we have over 750 pre-built templates for a variety of industries and use cases. So you could grab any of these, or you could actually start from scratch. You could do a one-page form, or you could do what we call a survey style. And then it's just kind of click and drag. What information do you want to gather from people? Maybe I want to throw a video in there. Throw that at the top of my form. Maybe I want to change the color scheme. Change the background logo. So you just kind of play with this however you like. Once it is all said and done, anyone that fills out that form, you can have them automatically added to a marketing campaign without you touching it. And you can throw them into your pipeline as well.
And where am I delivering that form?
You're most likely going to use that on like your website, or maybe you're running Facebook ads and you're driving traffic to that.
Anywhere I want.
Yeah, we'll do it two ways. We'll give you a link. So maybe you just want to put a button on your website. You click that button, it opens up the actual form. Or we'll give you the embed code too, and you can place it wherever you want.
Yep. And that's what we're going to be doing.
Like here, I'll give you. You can make these as fancy as you want. This one's pretty basic, but I'll give you a look at it. So, maybe it's an auto insurance quote. So it's just going to kind of animate between the different questions. And Joe, you were asking me this yesterday. Is it better to have a one-page form or something like this? So
can you, I think it popped up the second tab. Can you drag that over to the...
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Just so they can see it.
Yeah, I'll try to see how to change the screen.
I see it now. Compare rates at 20 plus companies to find the best deal.
Yeah, this is like in the preview mode. I just don't know how to switch the tab. Either way, you get the idea. So each one of these is broken up into a different page. And by breaking it up over different pages, it actually, from a psychological standpoint, you get higher opt-ins because it's not as overwhelming to your prospect. They're just seeing kind of one question at a time versus seeing 20 questions on a page and being overwhelmed. So that's a form builder. And Power Dialer. So Joe, this probably isn't in your version yet. I would call this beta right now. We'll fully release this probably in 2 or 3 weeks, my team says. But if you, actually, Joe, do you guys use any type of Power Dialer right now?
Yes, we're using ready mode.
Okay.
At least that's what our telemarketer is using. Yep.
Okay. So once this is fully released, you should be able to replace it. This system is going to allow you to dial up to 10 lines at once. So if you need to make a ton of phone calls, this is going to be a very fast way to get through those. And I'll give you an example. Now we're still kind of playing with this and tweaking it. I have some beta testers in my system right now. But before you start a session, you'd say, how many lines do I want to call at once? Single, 3, 5, or 10?
Did it pop open? Did it pop open another tab again? Are you on the power dialer screen?
Yeah, let's see if there we go. For some reason, everything I do is opening a new tab while I'm in the StreamYard. I'm not sure.
See if you can, you might be able to do 2 screens. Hit present at the bottom again and see maybe if it allows you to do 2 screens.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
And if you are sharing it through Chrome and it's popping up a new tab, you should see an option that says share this tab instead.
1 sec.
And that is a incredible looking system so far. Like I appreciate what Alex was talking about in regards to Go High Level, because that's what I'm currently using. So I noticed some of the similarities immediately, but then I immediately noticed some of the things that I'm not getting in Go High Level that Jeff has put it together in here, such as the video call. I'm pretty sure, and maybe I'm wrong, someone correct me if you're out there using Go High Level and I'm wrong on this. I don't think you can do the video call thing or the video recording where I can just send them a video email, for example.
They don't have video email.
Right. Or the direct mail thing and the postcard. Like that piece right there is super. I like that piece a lot.
Yeah, for Medicare folk or anybody doing direct mail. Yeah.
Let me know, guys.
And
Are you
Alex,
able to see the dialing screen now?
Yep, we can see it. And then we've got a
Okay.
question, but we'll come back to it after the dialer.
Okay.
So we'll get to you, Alex.
But yeah, but pretty pretty basic setup. I mean, you just choose how many lines you want to call out at once. And I'm going to pray that this does not open a new window when I click it. Here we go. So I got a list uploaded to the system. Just tell the system, what do I want to happen if someone calls me while I'm dialing out? So I could forward the call to someone else under my team. I could play a pre-recorded message for anyone that calls me back during a dialing session, or I could just end the call. Well, let's go ahead and start a dialing session. And what it's going to do is I have this set up as a 3-line dialer. So it's currently calling my first 3 leads. Once it connects to one here, which is calling me now, it's going to open up that profile screen. If I had a script, I could just read off that script right here. I could see all my communication history. During that call, I could send the person a text, an email, a voicemail, add them to a campaign, add notes. And then eventually I'm going to select the outcome of the call. And I just move on to the next one. And all this is recorded, so if you want to go and review like a team member's recording sessions later, you can do so. I will end that. I'll end my dialing session.
And everybody
right
knows
here,
how important the recordings is right now. If you're not recording your calls, you need to be. And I don't care whether, and I know definitely in Tony's space, and I know it's actually required, but if you're not recording your phone, like E&O wise, y'all, like you need to be recording your calls. So I love that feature. It's probably not talked about enough, but that is a very powerful feature to protect you. Really, just really across the board, so.
I think this is actually going to be a really big feature for us because if you look at a lot of the dialing systems out there, you might be paying like $100 a user just for a dialer. And this isn't something that we're charging any extra for. It's just built into the system.
I'm paying $120 a month for mine right now.
Okay. So like we're $79 a month and the dialer is just a built-in feature.
Freaking awesome.
Same with like video email. Video email costs you like $50 to $100 a month. So stuff adds up.
Right. Alex is asking, Jeff, what do you think in the cost per minute and cost per text will be for that?
I'll double check, but I believe the cost per minute is, I think it's 2 cents, but I'll double check. In terms of texting, the texting is 0.0125 cents. So we really just cover our cost.
Cool. And then, yes, Brian, it is 70. We'll cover all the cost and everything here after we kind of conclude the demo. And then I'll drop the link in there for y'all to be able to go check it out. Okay. And this is, get ready, y'all. Just freaking get ready. Your mind is about to be blown. I love that you don't start with this because the people that stuck with this, you deserve to see this now because it's freaking awesome.
I debate every time I do a demo if I should just start opening with this because it's the coolest thing and it's usually what blows people away. But yeah, this is our geofarming tool. So geofarming is known by a few things. You might call it geofarming, circle prospecting, neighbor marketing. But really what it's designed to do is just help you pinpoint your marketing efforts towards a specific geography. And if you're a real estate agent, you know these terms, but the typical insurance agent does not. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a search, and I could search a city, I could type in a neighborhood, a street, or even a specific home. But I'll give you an example here. So let's say I'm an insurance agent. For whatever reason, I just want to dominate this neighborhood. Anyone that needs an insurance policy, they're going to think of me here. So I need to start marketing towards these people. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say preview data, and I'm going to grab a drawing tool. I'm going to highlight that neighborhood. And now what we're doing is we're going out and finding data on all these people. So like this is Miroslav's house. This is Ilona. This is Elizabeth, Andrew. And I just got to keep going down the line here. Parveen, Harvey.
You're picking up mobile phone numbers and emails on some of those.
Mm-hmm. I know Harvey's name, his phone, his email, his address, how long he's lived there. I know how much money he makes. He is a homeowner, not a renter. How big his house is. I know what he does for a living. His neighborhood. I know he also owns an RV, so you can cross-sell an RV to him, or an RV policy. And I know he has a crappy credit
Harvey's
score as
got to
well.
get it together.
It's that RV he just bought.
Yeah. So, you know, we do two things. So we take the data, which is cool, but then we pair it with a way to actually reach out. I could call Harvey by clicking this button. I could send him a text, an email, drop a ringless voicemail, or I could send him a direct mail piece as well, just from this screen. And then right here, if I wanted to, I could actually add him to a long-term drip campaign as well.
That's crazy. And then I think, you know, one thing that we were kind of talking about when we were kind of doing our Redwood stuff with you was you were talking about how now you sell Harvey, guys, and then you can go to all of his neighbors and be like, Harvey just bought a policy from us, right? And then they know that name recognition. Can you, well, you're probably about to, but like the dispositions that you can put on the pins as well?
Yeah. So let me pull up, let's pull up this one. So this dispositions category, we actually, this idea actually came from Terminex because they reached out to us during COVID because all they do is door knocking. And they just wanted an easy way to kind of put a pin or an icon on a rooftop to easily identify it when doing what they would call virtual door knocking. So in this scenario, maybe you want to, indicate that Robert is the HOA president. So I could just pick an icon that I want to put on top of their house. And then this one's not done, but I'll show you an example. Like this is the disposition right here. So like this guy's HOA president. It just puts that little pin on top of the house. And that way, as you're going around talking to people, you could easily identify, hey, yeah, we deal with Jason over on Dixon Lane. We saved him X amount of money on his home insurance. Would you be interested in the quote? Maybe you put an icon for someone that says, go to hell, never come back to my house, never call me again. So it's just an easy kind of reference for yourself. So that is one option. I'll show you one more route that you can take on this tool here. Let me refresh the screen. So you don't have to do everything on the map. You could actually do a list as well. And so this scenario, I'm not going to say preview data, but I'm going to highlight the same region. And if I wanted to, in one click, I could actually send a message to all 47 people inside of this green box. I could add them all to a campaign, or I could create a list. And usually I'm going to name a list after a neighborhood. Once it's all said and done, it is going to flow over here. And now I can start filtering down this data just to find people that match my criteria in terms of like income, marital status, credit score, homeowner, they have a pool, they own a motorcycle, X dates, RVs. So I can narrow this list down to whatever I want. And then I could choose to either add them all to the CRM, or I could export them as a CSV file and do whatever I want with it. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite thing. It was a lot of work to pull off, and we're going to keep adding more and more functionality on top of it. We're looking at bringing in commercial data. We're also going to be bringing in skip tracing technology, which is something you do to hunt down people that owe debts. You could find like everywhere they've lived, every phone number, every email,
Dog
to
the
track
bounty
them
hunter
down.
is going to be one of your clients.
Right.
You get crazy stuff with the skip tracing, so we're going to add that as an additional layer on top of it as well.
Sick.
Wow.
And then the last thing I'll just show you is just triggers. These are just if-then scenarios. So if you're someone that loves automation and you want to get a little bit more advanced in what you got going on, you could come in here and say, if this happens inside the system, maybe someone books an appointment with you, you have a missed call from someone submits a form, you just tell our system what automated function would you like us to take care of for you. Maybe you want to add someone automatically to a campaign, a note. Maybe you want to auto text someone if you miss a phone call. So there's so many possibilities here. It kind of comes down to your imagination. So that's a rundown. I know it's a mouthful. It's like, when I created the software, a demo was like 2 minutes. We add more and more features, and it gets a little bit more complicated to go through.
Dude, it's freaking awesome.
Wow.
You guys, as we kind of start to wrap up here, if you do have any questions, anything else that you would maybe like a little bit more elaboration on, we can do that real quick here on the call. Or I did drop the link here. You'll see it. It's got my name, Joseph, in there. You guys can use that link to get in. And again, you got a 14-day free trial. And Brian, you are 100% correct. This is everything you need and will ever need. And it's only freaking improving and getting better. And I have to say, because again, I've used every freaking system. I've done, you name it. We've been in there and we've been trying it. Hell, I think I've got like 5 CRMs going right now, and we're being able to consolidate all of this to one and here is the number one reason. Now, anybody that knows, especially in the development space, that, hey, there isn't really a set, it's being developed, right? Jeff is the first dev, we'll call him, that when he says it's going to actually be built, he actually delivers on it, right? And so I have to give you a shout out on that, Jeff, because within weeks, I really expressed interest of like, hey, I think we really kind of want to just go all in on this. And we're scrapping Agency Zoom. We're scrapping Ready Mode. I'm scrapping everything to dump it all into SalesPype because, again, of the ease of use, but ultimately because of the deliverables. So when Jeff tells you that something new is coming out, it actually is going to happen. So, and some of y'all have been in the same seat that I have been, where you sit there and wait, and it doesn't matter because you're on a contract. So let's kind of talk about that. Obviously, no contracting with you. You don't believe in that. Let's kind of go through what does it look like to take a look at SalesPype to kind of get into the system and go from there.
Yeah. So like you said, I don't like contracts. If you don't like my software, don't use it. Don't keep paying me for it. So everything's just month to month. And the way we set it up, it's $79 a month. For a single user. You start adding different team members as well. It's an additional $25 a month per user. You start getting really big and, you got a large agency. At some point, you may say, hey, Jeff, can I do a white label of your software? And that scenario, we can set you up that way as well. And now you got like your own branded CRM for your agency. So, yeah, there's lots of flexibility there. But, I've always kind of grandfathered people in as well. Like I got people paying me, cheaper prices from years ago. So I'm not someone that's going to like nickel and dime you. I really just kind of try to cover my costs and make a little bit of profit along the way. So.
Yep. And that's specifically for truckers. We may end up doing, maybe I'll have Jeff on a separate show for that, but we'll do that in the trucking syndicate. That's what kind of, obviously you guys know Redwood is heavy into the trucking space. So we've really, Jeff and his entire team helped us build it out. So that is also something that we're looking to roll out specific in that transportation space. Because I know a lot of us we're working list, right? Whether it's a cab list, MC leads it, you name it, wherever you're getting that public record. And I won't say, but me and Jeff have talked. We are looking, we're trying to get some integration. We're brainstorming, but it could potentially where you're just signing into this one system. You don't even need to go download. And it's all just right there. So super excited, but specific for truckers, we'll probably roll out a separate show for that. Just because, again, I know a lot of us are working list paired with the dialer. And I'm actually looking at maybe doing a training once we have our SalesPype fully functional, specific on the trucking side of, hey, A to Z, this is what we're doing to close deals by working list. So we're super excited for that. Quick question for you. Do additional users have the same access as the main user under fully loaded?
Yeah, they do.
Yep. And you can set the permission levels and stuff in there, right? Like for me, I can set admins and agents and.
Yeah, if you do admin, basically though, if someone's an admin, they can see everything. If someone's an agent, they're just going to be able to see their own data. So that's up to you how you want to set up that user. And we're working on more like advanced permission settings as well, which we'll be rolling out in a few months.
Awesome. Any last Q&A, guys? If not, then I mean, gosh, this has been freaking amazing, dude. I'll let Tony kind of close this out. But if you have any last Q&A, feel free to put that in there. Even if you're catching the replay, y'all, feel free. Obviously, Jeff's in the group, so I can tag him in that. I can respond if I can answer it.
One thing I will say, Joe, real quick. So if anybody does sign up, just have them reach out to me because I'll give them free access to Strong Proposals and Viral Runway as well. So I mean, and so you'll have the insurance proposal system for free. People pay $39 a month for that. And then, like I said, I'll give you the Viral Runway as well. But just shoot me a message or have them connect with me on Facebook, and I'll give them access.
Cool. And then if we could, anybody that uses that link that I'm dropping in there, is that something you'd be able to, obviously if it's coming today, I'm not dropping the link anywhere else. Could we associate that as well? That, hey,
yeah.
I use that link.
I'll be able to see, I'll be able to track it back to that where I can get them access.
Cool.
But yeah, have them shoot me a friend request as well, because I can, make sure they got their login credentials.
Excellent.
Right on, dude.
Good stuff, man. Thank you so much for showing that off.
Thank you. I know it's a lot of stuff to go through, so yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
I think the comments speak for themselves, right? Blown away, unbelievable, wow, amazing. So I'm sure we'll find some people in here that are speechless. So there's definitely some people that see the potential and what it can do. I, for one, certainly can, and you'll probably be finding me as a client here pretty soon too. So thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been absolutely outstanding. This is the kind of content we're bringing you guys every Wednesday, right? We got people like Jeff coming on the show, showing off things that you can use to put in your business, help you elevate what you're doing, create more efficiencies, help you just basically serve more people, make more money. So we're here every Wednesday. We're bringing it down. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, because every video that we do live in the group gets pushed to YouTube, so you can watch it at a later date. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next Wednesday, because we're here every Wednesday.
It's the peak of the week, y'all, right? Don't slow down now. Hey, and the number one thing, right? And this, I think we look Hanky in the background. The one thing, don't miss, right? The beginning of this call too, right? Let's go out and let's find people that want to help us build and run an agency and a business for 17 years, right? And then ultimately, let's take systems that work, right? People that deliver them and actually implement them and put our agency on autopilot. So again, thank you, Jeff. Dude, it's amazing. We're super excited to be clients of y'all's and just, man, to the moon, dude. I know that we're going to do some really cool things together. So appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, we'll chat soon.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. Have a great week.
Next week.
We'll see y'all later. Yep.
Take care.